Hey y'all, what's going on? Welcome to the Sound Collective. Thank you all for coming out. Woo! Give it up.
Let's go.
We don't have the applaud effect. Y'all can clap.
Yeah,
Okay.
we really appreciate you all coming out in person, and for those of us joining online, thank you for tuning in. For those of you who don't know, Sound Collective is New York's premier music school community collective. We run all sorts of events just like this one. We run classes, private lessons, short-term programs, diploma programs. If you're interested in learning anything from DJing, music production, musicianship, music business, marketing, all that sort of stuff, let us know. We're happy to show you around the space, and check us out at soundcollective.com. Tonight we got something super special for y'all. This is part of our Collective Masters Live series. We got D.W.I presents the evolution of digital media. D.W.I has been in this game for a long time. He started Damatrix Network over 20 years ago, right?
Damatrix Studios Network.
Damatrix Studios Network over 20 years ago, sorry.
Okay.
He's been doing this for a minute and is a real legend in online broadcasting, podcasting, digital media, and he's here with an amazing group of panelists that I'll let introduce themselves in a minute. Without further ado, give it up for D.W.I and these lovely panelists.
Woo! Yes. All right. I guess I'm taking it over, right?
Yep.
Okay. All right, everyone. My name is Sue Fearless. That's what I go by. And I have been in media with D.W.I for a long time now. So it's amazing to have this conversation because we did start in radio and then podcasting before it was called podcasting. And here we are now. So definitely we are amongst, some legends in their respective fields. So I am excited to have this conversation. But a little bit about me, my podcast is called Sip Fearlessly. And I also do business and financial coaching. And we're also doing an amazing trip and project to Dubai. So a lot of good things, a lot of business stuff. Definitely if you want to tap in for that.
Mentoring the youth, don't leave that out.
Oh, wait,
Spent
yes.
all summer doing
Yes,
that.
very important. Yes, we are also working with the youth and we're bringing podcasting and business, financial literacy, entrepreneurship to the students. So that's very exciting as well. All right. But without further ado, we're definitely here to talk about the evolution of digital media. Okay. So we have a few of our panelists here today with us, which I'm going to go down the line and introduce. Okay, I just want to make sure I get it right. All right, so we have Corey CL. How you pronounce your last name? I want to butcher it. Llewellyn. Okay, got it. Okay. In the building, yes, clap it up for him. Okay. And he is a seasoned music magnate with more than 25 years experience as a leader in promotion and marketing within the music industry. With an extensive resume at numerous major recording labels, Elektra, Warner Music Group, Sony, Crave Records, Cornerstone, all of that, okay? And has worked with the Fader magazine. And though achieving success within all these mediums, it is D.W.I Media that has been CL's greatest glory. Founded in 98, D.W.I is a music marketing agency specializing in DJ culture, music innovation, and new urban culture. All right, so give it up for CL, everybody. All right. And then we also have Miss Lynn Hobson in the building. All right. Miss Lynn is a seasoned publicist, accomplished author of Diary of a Hip Hop Publicist, and an esteemed PR professor. As a dedicated community leader, she leverages her expertise to uplift others and make a positive impact. I love that. Unapologetically passionate about her faith, Lynn proudly identifies as a Jesus freak. I love that. Embodying her commitment to living a life of purpose and service. All right, give it up for Lynn Hobson, everybody. Okay, and last but not least, we have the Podfather in the building. All right, so D.W.I is NYC's most influential, aka the OG Podfather of New York, aka pioneer of podcasting, creator of the legendary 25-year and still going Damatrix Studios network. All right, okay.
Yeah.
That's right. So we are among some legends. So today, as you all know, we're going to talk about the evolution of digital media, and we're going to break it down into a few sections. We're going to talk about the rise of podcasting, print magazines in the digital age, the evolution of MP3 streaming, PR in the digital age, and all of that good stuff. All right. Okay. So without further ado, let's get a little bit into
Who's been doing it longer? Somebody said 98.
I'm 95.
Oh, 95. Oh, PR.
Okay.
So then you would be able to speak to what was going on in your day. What what was a snail mail? What were we doing? How were we getting information out as a PR?
Faxing. We were faxing and messengering the press releases.
What device was you using to message?
We were using a messenger service to send press releases to whether it's the New York Times or the Wall Street Journal, whatever. Yeah. A messenger service. I don't even see the messengers anymore. Remember them?
Of course you don't.
Remember them? They were on
on the bikes now. They deliver food now.
Yeah.
They got
Yeah.
their technology changed too, because now they got motorized bikes.
Yeah.
They didn't have all of that back in the day. Now they got like battery powered.
So we're gonna go with the PR first because that makes sense. But when I think about the evolution of media, I'll sit back and look at, they got a diagram of the phones, how the phones came out. The Nokia went to this, went to that, the BlackBerry. And some of us that lived through this, actually, you felt the transition. You felt the difference between each upgrade. Yeah. But those different devices also affected how we did business. Right. So we're speaking to a point now where there wasn't even none of that yet. So what you just regular phones and dial-up internet? There was no internet yet.
So as a publicist, we had these. So you remember? Do you guys remember your phone books? They like the yellow pages and the white pages.
Yeah. Right.
So as a publicist, we had these books called Bacon's Guides, and they were forest green, and they were like this thick. And they were extremely expensive. And you would have one for all the magazines in the world, all the newspapers in the world, all the radio shows in the world.
That's why I was
and all the newspapers in the world.
Passing that information around. That's why they held the books tight.
Yeah, because even back then, one book was $250. That is equivalent to $2,500 per book for back then. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And then when I started, I couldn't afford the books, so I borrowed someone's books, and I went to Kinko's or like a FedEx and made copies. Or I got a notebook and started just writing down the key people.
All right, so productivity, obviously things took way longer, and you had to be really patient.
Yeah.
In what you did.
Yeah, but it was still fast for then, though. You know.
So let me interject real quick. So also, I think that your position was more in demand and lucrative, I would say, back then, because you couldn't have access to any of this information only through your PR.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
So how does it compare like till now where a lot of information is available?
So now, the new publicist really is social media. Mm-hmm. Is the internet. That is the new publicist. And so the reason why I'm still a publicist is because people haven't figured out how to really work it. So I figured out how to work it. You know what I mean? A lot of celebrities have figured out how to work it. It's something extremely simple, but I'm not telling anybody because I'm holding on to my careers for as long as I could.
That gatekeeping, keep it.
Yeah, I'm not a gatekeeper, but this one thing, you know what?
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, hold that. For the next, to be continued when we do.
But it's something so simple.
But what's interesting about that is just that, like, again, when we talk this, back in my day, the back in my day still exists for us because we came in with the technology starting. So everything is fresh from us, from a beeper all the way to now. Like, the kids don't have a starting point. They started with iPads and iPhones from when they were young. So you can't even have a conversation. It's like the generations just separate now. Like, we're together now, but if you start talking about a certain point in time, people got to clock out. They got to be like, nah, I don't even know what you're talking about.
Yeah, but
about
we're
a
still in
cassette-
good standing
Right.
because you know what it is. We look at them like they're like crazy, but what it is that they're overwhelmed by information where they can't answer basic questions. You know what I mean? They're so overwhelmed by the technology, and so we know how to turn it on and turn it off
Right.
because we've had the best of both worlds. So we're always going to be good.
Yeah. And I think for us also, like, we know how to do like the face-to-face interaction and create relationships and engagement in that way versus
That's how they taught us.
Right. It's taught
How to shake a hand, how to look somebody in the eye.
Exactly.
Wow, yes.
I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah. If anybody has children, you guys need to go take them to see The Forge. Yeah. It's a really good show.
I've seen it. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Because
Because, you know, he said, look him in the eye and shake his hand. Yeah.
All right, so that was a snippet of that. Let's go to the 98 now.
Yeah.
What was happening in 98,
Well,
Mr.
in
MP3?
all fairness, I actually started in 95 as well.
Oh, here
I'm
we
not
go.
gonna lie.
Okay.
As an intern,
was
at
that the
Sony.
idea? Was that? Oh,
Well, no, the idea for D.W.I came later, but I started in high school
Oh,
as an intern at Sony, working for O.J. Wedlaw and Vicky Clark and a whole crew of dope people at Epic Records. Shout out to Nelson Tabota, who worked for 50, El Ness. And it was great because, you know, I played basketball, and what happened was that became my thing.
Right.
You know, that's what I put on my energy. And it was a lot, like you said, a lot different. You know, they had inboxes, literal inboxes where they would put
a mail
a note in your
in your
box,
box.
and they would do 100 of them, and you had to go drop them off to everybody, and that was how, you know. Or there was a board, and that was like, all right, just make sure you look at that that bulletin board, because this is the social media board.
Yeah.
This is how we communicate stuff here. But as far as the DJs are concerned, I mean, vinyl has been king.
right. Yeah,
Right,
definitely.
vinyl was that's the pinnacle of getting a new record. Even better if it didn't have any writing on it. It was a white label.
Right.
Then it was something super exclusive, and there were great things about that. You know, it forced a human interaction. You actually had to deliver something.
Right.
You know, or you
had to be cool enough or in the know to get something.
right. And if it was mailed to you, it was an experience getting it and opening it up.
Right.
Or
Experience, yeah.
Many DJs like Swerve would come and visit you at your office,
Mhm.
and then we would have an interaction, and you build a relationship, which was great. You know, today is definitely not a personal.
It's not it's disconnected.
It's definitely on one level.
Wait, but I have a question.
Yeah.
So what then was DigiWax's role?
Back then.
Yeah.
So we really came in the game. 1998 was when the concept. Because what happened with me was I was just an intern king.
Mm-hmm.
I went from Sony to Penalty Records and Round the Globe. Shout out to Sean Peckhouse, all of that. Then from there, I went to Uptown. I rocked out all Uptown crazy, and then I went and got my first job actually in fashion. So with Mecca USA, but then that put me right back in the gang. I was giving everybody clothes, and it wasn't until later when DigiWax was started, and when that did get started, the concept was sort of simple. I was like, you know, I got the ability to break a song
Okay.
through DJs. These are my friends, right? So we know we can give them wax and get something hot. And then we were like, well, this thing is gonna go digital, right? And then I was way ahead. We were like, it's gonna be digital. So, you know, started out like Wax Digi. Then we flipped it, was like DigiWax. And that became the company. And the goal was to simply cut out the middlemen. We still were in a predatory industry. And for myself, there was a guy by the name of Michael Kushner that worked at Crave Records. Thank you, Michael Kushner, because he was the first person, he was the attorney at the label. And there was an artist that I liked. It was a group called Negro League. And I was like, yo, I got one. And Mariah said, let's sign him. And he said, well, if you're going to sign a group, come in my office. I got to teach you how to read a contract. And when I read the contract and he was breaking down the points and how much will actually go to the group, which was 7 people in the group.
Oh, wow.
And you would see how much money they was going to take home at the end of the day. You realize there was it's just a predatory business.
Yeah,
It is what it
absolutely.
is. So our goal was to say we'll promote music, via wax or sell digital, and we'll cut out the middleman. And that was how DigiWax got started.
You came up with the name.
Me and my old partner Andrew Regler, yeah.
You remember that time that you did it? Because I remember
yeah,
when I came up with
yeah.
D.W.I and the Matrix. I
Yeah.
remember everything like it was
And
yesterday.
those moments are like golden moments in your
Yeah.
head, man. You never forget that. And what happened was we wanted to do that, but we didn't have no money. Just like many people. So we were like, you know what, we dope. Let's put out mixtapes. And that became sort of our entry, because there were new artists all the time. I was already connected, and from the mixtapes became, let's do some events, and let's partner with Renee McClain at RPM, and
Oh, yeah.
let's start getting involved with the brand. And then we started taking on artists, and Mims blew up off of that, a couple
Nice.
others, and
This
it
is
was
wild,
pretty
wow.
much lights out from there. We became the real thing that blew us. We created a digital, the first like email service for digitally servicing
Because
music.
Napster was 99.
Napster before like 98.
Yeah, right.
98.
So that's when we really got. We was like, oh, we could get music. Like
Right.
us kids that was.
Free.
'Cause
Yeah.
I come from two uncles that are DJs with all the records and all the turntables already set in my household. So I was already messing around with Soul to Soul and LL. I had everything that I ever needed. But it wasn't mine. That was theirs. So I was the little nephew just messing with stuff and sampling and all that. And then once that era came, I was like, oh, I can have all of these records to myself. And, that was a big deal. Again, I started The Matrix in 2000 off of the movie of The Matrix that came out in 99. So
Oh,
that
wow.
time I got inspired by that movie so much by the way that, Neo was not believing in himself, and then Morpheus was like, yo, just jump off the roof. Just do it. Bend the spoon. Like things were so simple. So I said, when I started engineering, I was like, artists would come in there and not be sure of themselves. And I'm like, nah, this is the Matrix. You could do whatever you want to do. And I used to be on Fred the Godson, rest his soul. Like he used to love working with me because he'd be like, yo, D don't play around. He'll just stop the button. He'll be rapping. It's all, if I hear it's off, we stop him because I know what I'm talking about. Like that's what I'm doing, So it was things like that the name turned into the moniker of what the business was. So that's why I asked about DigiWax, because that name rings bells.
Yeah,
Anytime
man.
I tell somebody that, I got a radio situation and I got my man DigiWax with me too. Oh, I know CL. So I'm like, yeah, we
It's so funny because in the beginning it was based on something totally different, but we actually found a way. I found a way to bring it full circle by creating a digital vinyl service, a digital wax service. We were like the first to service MP3s to DJs around the world.
imagine you had to have HUD filing system with those
Right.
records.
Great. That would've been,
So,
you know,
Without no
and
digital?
you still do that now.
we still do that now and a lot more. Absolutely. Every day we service our new music to thousands of DJs across the world.
Wow.
Today we did Marcus Houston. We did what's the name from Atlantic?
I feel bad now. I didn't connect you with. She's like, oh wow, like,
I'm like,
me and her do all. She got all these clients, and
Cordae's new
my
joint.
bad.
We did every day, it's, a bunch of new music, and that's the difference, right? So back in the day, the cost was to print vinyl, right? Then you had to ship it, right? Well, forget that. You had to package it first,
Right.
stamp it, ship it, and then in between that, you had stuff getting stolen, stuff getting sold to Africa, Japan, all over the world. People stealing records,
Yeah.
and then you had like the natural elements. You had heat. Some places warped the records. Some places it was cold. Somebody stepped on the box, shattered
Racket.
some of the records.
Yeah.
All types of stuff. So, while it was a special item, it was definitely a big cost for releasing records. It's still a vintage item. So there was something beautiful about it regardless. But when we started, shout out to a friend of mine named Mike Fox. He was my counterpart at Atlantic. I was at Epic. I was at Electra. He was the one that was like, yo, have you sent out a song yet via MP3? I was like, boom. It just hit me like that's what we're going to do.
Right.
And we started to do it, and we started to make it lighter and better and faster. And it's, I want to say we've broken a lot of records globally, worldwide, because that's the beauty of the internet. You're no longer dealing with New York.
Right.
You're no longer dealing with Jersey, Connecticut, or LA.
So you're still sending records through your extensive list to DJs?
DJs and record breakers of all sorts. You know, back then we didn't have as many influences.
Right.
You know, people DJs were that was you know, Flubbo Starsky shouted you out at you know, Club Echo, you went crazy. You know what I mean? Or if Flex shouted you out at the tunnel or Cap, you felt like
Yeah, so
You made it.
This is a lens for I guess 25 and under or 30 and under. I don't know what the cutoff is, but just imagine there's no internet, so your favorite artist that you see, the only time you see them is when you see them, right? That or if you go buy the record.
Right.
So the internet gives this illusion of that you can see anybody or talk to anybody. So we're speaking from a time where if you was a DJ or you was worked at a label or you was a PR, we looked at you like, you in the mix because you couldn't get in the mix.
Right.
You couldn't just go and do anything. You had to wait for the record to come out, go buy it, stand in line like everybody else. It was right. So,
But there still is a process now, though, because even though, so in order for us to see the people that we want to see, we got to look for the flyer, you know, find out what what the venue has going on. Now, the younger generation, they can just say, well, I can just go on the internet. But you can go on the internet or you can buy tickets to their concert. But for the exclusivity, you still need those relationships. Yeah, you can't just RSVP and show up.
but they made it
still
now.
can't.
I've seen a few tickets now. Like I was looking at the Revolt because I'm going to the Revolt joint, and I seen them say that like if you want to buy this VIP pass, you can buy this. If you want to buy the extra VIP, it's $400 something, which allows you to pay money to get closer to said. But it's still not the same as if you bring me backstage or CL bring me back or Sumi. When y'all bring me back, I'm back. I'm
Right,
here.
like that was an experience. This is more like a coordinated
Right.
something. Yeah.
Take a picture with
Brown, like
Chris
Chris
Brown,
Brown,
right?
yeah.
And pay $1,000. Like this is where it's at now.
monetization, right?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, we're flipping how we monetize, right? So, you know, we didn't really, maybe fan clubs were there, and that was a different thing. But today, artist social media literally can be. I was talking to a lady, woman here earlier about how you can literally set it up to follow them, but not just follow them, but to subscribe to them, right? Which is one level now. And then they may be selling a product, right? So now they're selling a product, or they may have a show. The link to the show is right there as well. It's because at the end of the day, we're still dealing with the economy and making this industry relevant, and it's only relevant when it makes money.
Right.
And it's becoming it's flipping, and it's flipped. Let's be honest about that. And if you don't understand the new system of social media economics, you're going to be in a trick bag.
Yeah.
Because everything is monopolized.
Yeah.
Once they discover that something is going, they're going to monopolize it to where they make money off of it and they control it. So that's what's happening. And you know, to both of your point, I feel like it's still difficult, even though we have social media, to reach certain people, certain networks, certain platforms, you know, to release your music, to connect with others and things like that. It's still difficult because you have to look for it and create those relationships personally and things like that. So even though we have like worldwide exposure, you still have to go out and do the work.
Yeah. There's no guide. So right now we're all connected, right, on social media, but it's a giant. Imagine a spider web that's like, it's a ball. You know, it's not just a regular one-dimensional spider web. This thing is a ball. There's links going everywhere. And within this ball, you actually have to figure out how you create your own web within it that's effective.
Right.
So if you don't know who to service your music through, you know, that part of your link is gone. If you don't know who to go for PR, or how to set, that part of your link is gone. And there's not really a guidebook to say, yo, here are the people and this is how you can do it. or
I
here's
seen
the
an app the other day where it said, if you're an artist, you have this in your pocket, and it tells you what the steps to do. I said, get the hell out of here! Like they're doing
What?
too much. It's
Say that one more-
on Instagram, but it came up as a
funnel.
commercial.
It's an artist funnel, right? So
Yeah.
they're telling you, oh well, if you
It's gonna guide you through your music career and let you know the steps you're taking. Because I wanna.
That's real?
It's real. It's real. I seen it last night again. I see it. I see
Can
it
you
all the
send
time.
it to me? I
I'm
want
gonna
to
forward
see
it
it.
to you. All right. So let me. You had something, Sue?
Well, y'all go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I'm saying it's funny because when you see that, the only reason you're seeing it is because the hack is to advertise.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
They
That's
know,
the hack.
right. They know what people are needing, so they're gonna
So I see it every day. Learn how to podcast. Blah, blah, and I'll just look at it like,
Yeah.
wow, like wow, like.
No.
So I wonder where they're
You should be
starting.
doing
at.
it. That's what you're
I
saying.
should. You're right.
And
Yeah.
because
Right.
you're the podfather.
Right.
So the only
It would have
difference
been more
between
relevant if I'd have got.
the only difference between
Yeah.
them and you is that you would come here, film for 5 minutes. Hey, I'm the podfather. 28 years in business.
And do a
right?
video drop, Fat Joe, Cardi B, all people that
That's
come
even
here
beyond, right?
over the years.
Oh, my
you
God.
would shut them down.
That's the problem that I have with that. I'm so much of a doer that I'm not even. I want to go back and tell how I even came up with everything. That's what I
We were
want to
just
do.
talking about marketing, right?
Mhm.
And the fact that sometimes we actually need somebody else
Yeah.
to market us.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because seeing it from the inside out is
Yes.
hard as hell.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
a kid will walk up to you and be like, well, why you ain't doing this?
Right.
Blow your whole mind. And
Right.
it costs you $20 a week to get the same amount of exposure that other person's getting that you're
Right.
seeing every day.
Yeah.
So that was what I was
You
saying.
know,
That-
with that
yes.
being said, I actually want to ask Lynn a question. So, PR is super important. And, a lot of folks are wanting PR, but sometimes they can't afford it, things like that. But also, I'm going to play devil's advocate a little bit. I've heard instances where, nowadays, sometimes people are like, oh, PR is just a fluff because it doesn't get you this, and that. Like, let's talk a little bit. Let's break that down a little bit. Let's unpack that.
So, like I was saying before, social media is the new publicist, right? But you still need a publicist because you still have to create content. Okay, so you need to go on some interviews because that interview at the end of the day is content. You know what I mean? The only difference is that sometimes an artist will come and they're large, and so it's like it's easy, because they're established. But then the up and coming artist, how like why should I come out for this artist, Lynn? I mean, I understand you're a publicist, you get paid, how much, what's in it for me? So I actually have set aside a portion of my monthly retainer to give a couple dollars here there to the people to interview my clients for their time, because time is money. Time is real estate. What he has built is real estate. It's I've been rocking out with you for years.
And I enjoy that connection because I know when she's bringing me a client, like I know that they're coming with the bio, with
he has
everything
everything.
I need, and I know that it's going to be a good interview because that means that they paid their money. They're there for a reason. So I do my best to make sure I bring what they're lacking. I bring it out because a lot of them still don't have interview experience, and
right.
That's pretty much what the Matrix has been all this time. It's just been like a long 25 years.
It's a launching pad. It's a
right.
launching pad for some of the biggest celebrities that have come out of New York
Because
City.
we don't know how Cardi or how J. Cole and them would have been if they didn't get those first interviews.
Exactly.
Because those, I can tell you, being there at the time, they wasn't who they was. They was like anybody else that first gets in front of a mic, still not really, sure about how to do it.
Themselves.
Right.
Yeah.
So let's do this. I want you to run down. So I want you to run down the list of how things came out in this order here, so I can talk about where the Matrix came.
Okay, like the
And
platforms.
from
right?
the platforms, just to make sure if y'all know a platform, raise your hand, say yay, I had that or whatever. But let's just go through those real fast, and now I'll talk about the Matrix, and then we'll get into the next side of it.
So Napster launched in June 1999,
Okay.
although it became widely popular in the 2000s. MySpace launched in August 2003.
Mhm.
MySpace was cool. I like MySpace because you can put music behind your background. MySpace.
We learned how to code with MySpace.
Yeah, exactly. That's a fact. Facebook launched on February 4th, 2004. YouTube launched on February 14th, 2005. Google Plus launched on June 28th, 2011, but it was shut down April 2019. And then Instagram launched on October 6th, 2010, which was a little bit of a shock for me because I didn't think it was that old.
It was,
Instagram.
because we weren't really on until 2012, 2013.
Right. So now,
Yeah.
so let's go back now. So the Matrix Studios 2000 is when I built the studio. The studio was built out of an apartment studio in the Bronx, right? Burger King, all of these people remember that Burger King parking lot. They used to go to Burger King. I used to feed my neighborhoods. My neighborhoods made mad money off of me. But that's a whole nother check that we're gonna talk about later. 2002, I met up with Jesse Jess. I was just an independent producer and engineer for 2 years, just learning how to be an engineer and a producer. 25 years old. That's where I started. So Jesse Jess found me on a program called IUMA. It was a producer site where you put your beats up. So he found me on there and he asked the question, do you think you can produce a radio show? I never did radio. I did engineering, but for 2 years, but I never did that. But I told him, yeah, I'll do it. And we worked on the show. It was a pre-recorded show. So I put together the show. The way I did it, I put together step by step. So we would record on the Pro Tools tracks. Any engineers understand. So I would have 4 Pro Tools tracks. The mics, you see the mics that we have here? I had the color foams on the front of them, right? The color foams matched what track I was recording on. So I did that so I could know who had what mic, right? Then after that was recorded, I put the sound effects, the bed music and all that. This 2 hours long. So a 2 hour long session, then I had to edit it, take out the curses. I had so much training doing that through that time. That was live radio, right?
So wait a minute, I have a question. So in 2002, when you started The Matrix, and you were interviewing people.
Yes.
Where were the interviews?
In my apartment.
Where were the interviews heard?
On 91.9 FM. It was a pirate radio station.
Oh.
So I would burn the file. So this is the scenario. I would burn the file and then I would have to get in my car and drive over the bridge to Queens, like Corona, Queens, and drop off the CD to the station where
that was the interview.
Right. So now
he would just play it back for your segment.
It wasn't live. Right. So that went on from 2000 to about 2004. 2004, I got a commercial studio in my old neighborhood, built that. And then that was the one where everybody was at. J. Cole, Nipsey Hussle, everybody came to that one. That was like from 2004 to 2009 was like my 90s of that, right? But the part that makes sense to me now, looking at this timeline, is there was no YouTube, there was no platforms to put your stuff on.
No.
So now I was doing the radio station, and I remember I had people like Graf, Remy Ma, Pitch Black. I had Trash. No, I'm thinking about the first studio. I just had so much Grand Poobah. People came to my apartment, which gave me the confidence. Like they walked inside of a Bronx apartment and came to do an interview, like with no security or nothing in the Bronx. So again, my confidence was up. So now when I got the commercial space, now they come into a building, it's a liquor store downstairs, pizza shop across the street. So now everybody is comfortable. I'm comfortable. I'm not in my apartment no more, even though I can't cook my breakfast and lunch like I did. But it's cool. So 2005, around 2005, now there's a program called Stickcam. Now, Stickcam used to be like kind of what on TikTok is now, where you can have a camera and you can have four or five cameras on the side. Now, I was already doing a radio show, but I got tired of driving back and forth to Queens. So I'm telling myself, man, if I could just do this live right now, I can get the clean versions because y'all was issuing us clean versions. So we had that. The DJs know how to play the clean versions. And the guy was like, well, if you can do it, then we can figure it out. So he tapped into my live on Stickcam. Now, Stickcam was like a community like Instagram, no, like Facebook. Mm-hmm. So you had people that would come in from all over. I seen Soulja Boy in there. I seen Be Real. I seen them in there on their thing, doing their thing. But they would come to my room and they had me as like the performer because I had mad celebrities coming in. So people would talk about it in that community. So it was kind of like Instagram and all that, but it was my own community. Fast forward, I said, you know what? Let's just go live through that. So he allowed us to go live. So now I had a live station underground.
So why did you need? Who allowed you?
The guy that at the station? Because he.
Why did you need his permission?
Because
at this point,
because we was paying him to play the show. He had the antenna. He had the.
I'm lost.
Pirate radio station.
You still need
any radio station. You need a broadcast antenna to broadcast.
And he had the broadcast antenna.
Okay.
And it was only to be heard in certain parts of Queens and the Bronx. The antenna was like positioned in the building. I think Tracy Towers. So it was crazy. He had the device in Queens, but the antenna was here. His name was Doc. Doc was deep. And to this day, me and Doc was still cool because I was bringing him money. I was bringing all these shows, learning how to do their shows. All these mixtape DJs. This is what I want to talk about. The mixtape DJs transitioned to me. I had SNS, Ty Boogie, DJ Kid New. No, this is a fact because if they couldn't get on Hot 97, there was no Power 105 yet. Go do the research when Power 105 came out. It was later, way later.
Definitely.
Right. So anyway, so all that happened, and in that time, during that segment, I had the BlackBerry, and the BlackBerry had this little app in it that allowed you to see the stick cam. Stick cam came out with an app at that time, like 2005, 2006. So at that time, when I seen it, and it only worked for a little while. It must have been like a beta, but it worked, and I was like, wow. So I can watch this on my phone. In my head, I'm like, in the future, I'm gonna kill this. Like, this is gonna be crazy. But I never thought about to make the app for myself. I just was waiting for them to do it. Yeah. So that was the moral of that story, is that the technology was there, but my brain was on. I'm the producer. I'm always on the production side. People always will give me critique. D, why don't you just do this and do that? And they don't understand. My mind is to create and bring people together. That's my strong point. Back to what you said earlier, we need somebody else to say, yo, I know how to do this. Let's connect and let's make that happen. And that's what it evolved to. I started meeting a lot of people, and it just started to build from 5 shows to 10 shows, 10 shows to 20 shows, 20 shows to 40 shows a week. So.
And that's where that's when you started getting all your hosts, and everyone started developing their own shows.
Yes.
Right.
And I got there eventually.
Yeah. When we got to 2011, 2017.
Okay.
Yeah. So
in 2009-ish, 10-ish, when I met you, where were those shows being aired?
91.9.
Still.
No, I'm sorry. There was a segment where I stopped doing the live radio, and I just embedded that thing on my website, Damatrixstudios.com, and that's when it turned into that. Mm-hmm. So when I see people, this is before Instagram, so you couldn't look at yourself, and you can do none of that. I was the only person that really knew how to do that. This is why when I'm walking with Dave, and they be like, "Yo, you was the first guy that ever did that." What the real ones that actually came there know that they didn't see that. I had Ebro there. I had what's his name from Jay-Z's A&R? What's his name? Lenny S. Lenny S had a show with me with Maya the B. I had a few people that was on Love and Hip Hop early, Jen the Pen, Rocky Thunder. Like, all of them were my hosts first. I was producing all of them, and I'm so territorial, right?
But no, it's important. It's important you tell a history.
Because who else is gonna tell a story? Like, who?
And that's what happens all the time.
And then the problem I have, this is why what made me come up with this idea, the evolution of digital media, because I'm never trying to take nothing away from the Joe Buttons, the everybody, the Drink Champs, everything that they doing right now. But what they do need to understand is when y'all be having these people on the couches, and you got Cypher Sound and Rosenberg talking about they put math on, and math had to stop them, like, nah.
Right.
Combat Jack and D.W.I. because and that's all he said, because he just knows you bugging right now. Like, what you talking about is crazy. And we need to make sure that as a community that we do that, because I'm still helping people. If I would have got put in a position that got millions of dollars, I would have still been helping people. I'm not the type that would have got rich and switched, because this is what I love doing. I would do this for free.
Right.
Like, because this is something new that I created, and I know I did in a sense of a network, not the technology of webcams and all that. Even though I was doing something real fancy with webcams at the time, I had Bez, I had 3 camera angles a long time ago.
Yes,
the only thing is the computer, the computer won't let you use more than 2 webcams at one time. Like, it just wouldn't let you do that. So I found that ways, but. Yeah, so I'll pass it off to Sue. I just want to, so that's the update on that, and now I want to get into like what are we doing now with technology and how it.
Kenya just walked in.
Yeah, she's social media, right?
Perfect timing.
All right, so before Kenya comes up,
Come sit right here, Kenya.
Where's Dave at? Where's the other Dave? Dave's not in here. Dave's in the building. Dottie's back there. All right. Somebody wanted to come up and introduce. Where's my man Deuce at? Deuce is here? Oh, there go Deuce. Oh, okay. I didn't even see you. All right.
Good.
Give him. How
you doing?
Hi.
So take that mic there. Take that mic over there.
How you doing? Nice to meet you.
Right there.
What's going on, y'all? I'm sitting here listening to some of those stories. I was there for that Cole interview that day in the Bronx. Was that Gun Hill or Boston? I get those mixed up.
In between
Fire,
Gun Hill
fire.
and Eastchester, yep.
Dope. I ain't gonna take too much time real quick. You've done a lot for a lot of people, and I've known you for many years, and we didn't start working together until last year. But I definitely benefited from your platform because I've been on, like, I'm not gonna say every show, but a whole lot of shows. And I've been to shows at every one of your studios except for your crib.
Right.
So this is just an award here for your.
Aw.
It's all right. It's all right.
They do got the glue. They do.
I got a video of DJ Self doing that with 2 Chainz the same way. He tried to dab. It's fine though. It's cool because I know where your heart is at.
All right.
Nah, it's cool. It's cool.
Yes.
Real bit of glue fix that.
Yeah.
All right, so let me read it to you real quick before I drop it again. All right, it says, on behalf of Deuce the Privilege and GX Media Inc., this award is presented to D.W.I. and the Damatrix Studio Network for being a pioneer of independent radio since 2002.
Oh,
My bad, I broke it.
Yes.
that's so awesome.
Fine.
Well deserved. Yes.
That's
Congrats, man.
They won't know it's broken when it's on my shelf though.
Well, while y'all doing that, I do think it's important to remember the roots and the innovations that people of color have contributed to media. It's always swept under the rug, but and the innovation that it takes to take it to the next level, and that goes from DJing. Nobody was trying to string up all these Ys in no park. Somebody said, "I'm gonna do it." Nobody was trying to put up 3 camera angles. Somebody had to say, "I'm gonna do it." So it's important that we give ourselves our history, let everybody know, but and give ourselves props. So yeah.
For artists, Lynn, by even taking out money out her pocket, to facilitate these interviews, and D definitely. I started at the Gun Hill area studio, so I'm always grateful for him giving me a platform. Absolutely.
Yeah, she was raw when she started. Like she ain't want to talk in the mic and say nothing. Like she was just like,
Yeah.
I'm like, well, we got to get past that. And
I know.
and what's interesting is I met her she was doing network events on rooftops in Manhattan, like real dope. And she walk around the whole party
Right.
introducing. So I'm like, oh, she's gonna be dope on radio, but it's a different beast when you're
Yeah.
sitting in front of the mic.
Yeah.
Anybody that's done media, so yeah.
Well, I'm one of those people that's an introvert extrovert, right? So I could work a room when I'm working, but definitely when it was time to get on the mic, I had to learn a lot. So I thank D for that. I always share my story when I started there because he definitely helped me find my voice. And I know that so many people have that story with D and Damatrix Studios. Yeah.
All right, so now we move in to close it out. We moving into the social media era, which is a wildfire right now. So we go.
So we have the next generation here.
Yes.
I love her
I
shoes
actually,
too.
I actually want to do an official
Introduction,
real
yeah,
introduction.
yeah.
Yes. So this is Miss Kenya Thomas, and she is a seasoned social media and digital marketing maven with over a decade of international leadership experience. Known for her mastery in influence marketing and social media management, Kenya has successfully driven significant brand growth and engagement across various platforms by crafting bespoke, multicultural marketing strategies. Her expertise extends to developing comprehensive digital marketing strategies, leading successful paid advertising and influencer campaigns, and meticulously tracking impactful metrics. which that's important, y'all. You
Yeah,
need to
we're
check
about
your
to holla at.
analytics.
We're about to
You need
holla
to
at
check your
Kenya.
analytics, yes. These efforts have generated over $956,000 in incremental revenue, solidifying her reputation as a champion of diversity and deliverer of measurable results. Kenya's impressive client roster includes global brands like Mandarin Hotels and Burger King, and her work has earned her prestigious accolades such as the John Barleycorn Award for Diplomatic Rum and recognition from the Society of Professional Journalists. She also holds an AI certification for writers from Writing.io, further showcasing her commitment to staying at the forefront of digital marketing innovations. Give it up for Kenya, y'all. Yes.
You like that bio, right?
Yes.
Thank you, Lynn.
Word.
I had to, yes.
Lynn
Joke.
connected with that. Thank you.
Okay. That was fire.
That was award winning.
That was good. So let's jump right into that. Let's talk about the social media impact, utilizing social media for marketing. Yeah. Go ahead. Yes.
Kenya is my client. I'm meeting her for the first time in person.
Oh wow.
And we met from a mutual colleague on social media. So this is an example of how
Yes.
social media is really important, because a lot of people that I do business with, I've never met.
Yeah.
You know, she just happens to physically be here. So it's like, hey, girl, hey. You know what I'm saying? She's been my client for a month, and that's awesome. Good to see you.
Yes.
Seeing you too.
Okay.
And already check, right? With that bio.
Right.
Crazy.
She killed that one.
Yes.
I'm impressed. I was sitting there like, damn.
So let's talk about social media and analytics, metrics, how to use it properly. Because, a lot of us are on it, but we want to know how to increase our growth, our followers, engagement, things like that.
So first of all, I'm going to say you definitely need to convert your profile from like a regular personal profile to business or creator. That is the only way that you're going to be able to see the full spectrum of analytics. In terms of what I do and how I use it, so I work for a PR agency called ICR. I am the VP of influencer marketing and social media. So I pretty much oversee our client roster and handle all strategy as well as delegating execution to my team. What we do when we work with collaborators, content creators, tastemakers, celebrities, like, just anybody that we feel is a great personality to work with a brand, we look at insights. That can be your follower count, your impressions, which is essentially how many people are looking at your content, your reach, which is, essentially like how far is your content going? So, how many people are looking at it, but like, where are they? And how many times are they looking at that content? We also look at engagement rate. And your engagement rate, again, it truly relates to the impressions and reach, because that is how many people are interacting. So if you have 1 million followers, like, or let's say Kim Kardashian, she has, 30, 40 million followers or something like that. Her engagement rate is about 0.02.
Wow.
So as low as it is, you have to figure that that's probably quite a few million people who are actually engaging with her content. So, we look at things like that, and we don't always automatically say no. We might ask for additional insights just because what we can see on our end is not going to be, the true 1,000% information. It's just like a small spectrum. So sometimes we ask for screenshots from your Instagram, and that is how brands determine, whether they want to work with you or not, based on what they feel the impact might be. Another thing we look at is like the quality of content. So, are your photos grainy? Is the video grainy? Is it shaky? It doesn't need to be, Steven Spielberg level or anything like that, but we just want to make sure that it's a decent quality where the audience can understand. Also, just like relatability and alignment with the brand, right? So if you're posting things that may not be appropriate for a brand, they won't work with you. A great example of that is Burger King. I am gonna say, and like this is kind of off the record, even though it's being recorded, but like, we will Google and we'll look at things like, did a celebrity or an influencer have a DUI? And we won't work with you. Just things that might damage the brand. There's so much. Like we dive into social media, like we have platforms where we can type in keywords. We can see if you're saying, derogatory words. We have a spreadsheet of words that are. Oh yeah. So like nigga, if people are saying nigga or just any sort of like what they would consider racial slurs, it could be anything. It could literally be anything, and for certain brands that is a no-go.
Question: what if it's a song? Hold on, you got to get the mic because it's got to come on close to the audio. Come this mic right here. We're taking questions, so you can.
Yep, you could do questions.
I don't know if it's gonna reach over there.
A lot of game in like 2 minutes.
I mean, I'm trying to give a speed through crash course,
My goodness. If we could, if you had better timing, I mean, this is great.
Said the individual is using music or so for the content.
No.
That mic is on, guys.
Here you go.
Said the individual is using music for content, and the music have curse words or the N word or something like that. Does that apply as well?
Yes. We definitely look at everything, and so sometimes that's why we won't work with artists. It really depends. Like it depends on the track record, and like I said, it's a full spectrum. So sometimes it's more so okay, they might have derogatory words, but what was the usage of that? What were they relating to? Yeah, what was the message? What's their background? Like what's their track record when it comes to any of this?
So
yeah.
I want to. So now that we have the full spectrum here, we have platform, we have digital, we have PR, we have financial advisory, and now we have the social media part of it. I feel like the algorithm is controlling people's brain right now. Like people are, oh D, you got to post 5 times a day. You got to do this. You got to do this to get the. And I'm like, why do I got to do that? Like
absolutely not.
And then when I get a check, from Instagram or yeah, it's like $1.50 point. This and that. I'm like, I've been doing mad work and this is what they paying me. I could have just asked people for $2 for this. Like I'm not doing it, but I want you to explain like who is it benefiting and who is it not benefiting? Like how does the systems work that for the artists, for the people, for the what do you call those, the podcasters? Like how does people take advantage of the social media?
I think when it comes to getting those checks from social media, it's going to be what is outrageous, like what is insane. Like, are you doing something that's like crazy and disrespectful? Or like, are you doing something that's funny? Or, are you like a Mr. Beast? Like he's always, he's doing these like giveaways, right. Like, and yeah, like, I think that that's really it. It's like, do you have a really cool niche that is gonna jump out at people and make it interesting? I'm gonna tell you where the money is the brand partnerships. I'm working right now on a campaign for a new tattoo studio, and they want to hire someone for $15,000 that has, it's not a tattoo studio, it's a tattoo removal studio. So they want to hire someone to remove a tattoo that they don't love and pay them for it, as well as provide all the treatments, which is about $5,000. So, it's just that I think sometimes we don't always know, right? For me, I try to, I try to give free game. I think it's important sometimes that we truly understand that there is something else out there when it comes to social media, aside from, those $1.15 checks. It's cool, and like that doesn't mean not do the content. It just means try to find other means. I probably get about 10 to 15 emails sometimes per day, just of like influencers or people. Hey, I'm going to be in New York. Would love to stay at Mandarin Oriental. Like, can I just get a free night? And that's where it starts. Sometimes it just starts at, maybe you do one or two things for free and other brands start to see your content. I can't tell you how many influencers or content creators I've worked with. And it was their first brand partnership, free. And then so many brands came to them and they emailed me and be like, hey, off the work I did with you for D. Serrano or Cristal, like, whatever the brand might be. I got other liquor companies that came to me and like threw me $500 or $1,000. It starts somewhere. And it shouldn't really matter the number of followers you have. You should put just as much into your content as you would if you had 1 million followers. And that's what's really important.
I had a quick question. You mentioned setting up a business account. Yeah. So does that apply across the board with TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, well, Meta, and I guess all the others that out there?
Yes. For whatever platform it is, if there's an option to have a creator or a business account, you should definitely set it up. If you're looking to jump into the content game, or if you are already, in that aspect of being a content creator, just because you'll be able to see your insights and like, don't be afraid to Google. You'll see, different articles that pop up, Influencer Hub, Tagger, Sprout Social, like, those are like reputable influencer marketing or digital marketing websites. And I use a program called Tagger, and that's how I can see everybody's insights.
I'm waiting for somebody to be like, yo, CL, I'm going to text you these as soon as we get out of here.
Right.
Like,
So is there a requirement for the people that you work with? I think I'm kind of loud, no?
No. This is for production. It's for production.
The audio, yeah.
I'm sorry. I just want to know, is it a requirement for the people that you work with to have like high analytics? Like, do they need to have high reach, high impressions? Or are you working with people from the ground up and you're giving like results like, okay, they started here and this is where I took them?
So I'm going to say it depends on the brand. It depends on the brand, and it depends on the quality of your content. It depends on what the campaign or like pillar might be. A pillar is just like another word for like a theme. Like, what is their theme or their promotion at the moment? So, it depends on multiple things. Most brands won't work with anyone who has like under 2,500 followers, not for pay. But, again, you have to start somewhere too. And so is there a new brand that you just saw? Or, do you love Burger King? I can't tell you how many emails I go through from people and they're like, hey, yeah, people, they send emails to the Burger King email address. It's like info@Burger King. I don't know, whatever it is. Like, if you go on their website, there's a PR email and they forward those to us and then we have to go through them. And a great example, there was this man, I believe he was turning 80, and his daughter emailed Burger King and was like, hey, my dad and mom, like, they go to Burger King before church every Sunday. And she was like, he's turning 80. Is there something special you can do? We did a birthday party for him. Not a big thing, but like for Burger King to even respond back and care is a thing. So we did a birthday party for him in a Burger King. Like, we hosted like 30 or 40 people, something like that. We got him like a custom made cake. And then, we fed everybody and we gave him a gift card for like $500 or something. It's just, it's the point. And like, don't think that if you reach out to brands, they won't respond. I think, it just needs to be something interesting. And that's kind of it, you know? And sometimes they'll just say, hey, we'll send you a gift card. And well, isn't that a partnership kind of? Because they're expecting that you may post content.
Right.
And so, you know, count those small opportunities that you might get and make them work for you.
Yeah. I think, are we opening it up to a few more questions?
We have 13 minutes left, so we're gonna close out with some questions and some end of the conversation wrap up. So anybody got questions, y'all can step up to the mic.
Yes,
King has it over there. She's Vanna Blacking right now.
Well, I mean,
No
there was a lot of
questions?
information. I feel like
definitely.
yeah, there's like there's a lot of questions, but I think a lot of it is applying a lot of the stuff you're talking about because you almost get overwhelmed with social media at times.
So here's the thing. This is being sponsored by Sound Collectives, the master program, and they're recording it. And this is the first time that I could come somewhere and not have to bring all my equipment and set it up. So I am like, I'm so happy to walk out that door. I might sell some shirts in the front and then get out of here. But with that being said, they will have the footage, and this will be great content. These clips is going to be legendary when you see them back, and it's just the single clips. So don't think about not answering. Be a part of this is a network right now. We want everybody to be involved with this so that when they'll be doing a production, and then when the world gets this and they put it out, it's gonna be great. So don't hold your question, and then when we get outside, D, I meant to ask you now. Don't ask me nothing now. Like we off the air, we off the clock. So go ahead, Gingerbread Man.
Blessings.
Yeah. Smart man. See, he wants the camera time. Go ahead.
Hare Krishna, everybody.
All right.
Greetings. That means hello. One love. Blessings. All right. So what exactly is a PR?
So as a publicist, I promote people, places, and things. And I promote them in newspapers, magazines, local television, talk radio, and internet, anything media. So I promote people, places, and things, and I promote them on any media platform.
And for Burger King, y'all work with like vegan people?
Yeah, man, I go bad.
Why he call her Burger King? Go ahead.
Kenya.
Burger King.
That's
What you doing?
Kenya, like the country.
Don't worry, it's cool.
Burger King.
It's Kenya.
She the plug, so she represent Burger King, so So do y'all deal with like vegan people, like as an artist and no, I mean like as an artist, like let's say I'm trying to do like we need trying to do like a deal or something. Y'all willing to work with people that are vegan that don't deal with cow eating and all that type of stuff?
She's in social media. I mean, she's not for Burger King.
That's
it depends. So
clients.
Burger King does have an Impossible Whopper, so they do have Impossible meat. However, there is a disclaimer, whereas they cannot say that it's 100% vegan. So there's that. But we do work with like vegan influencers, and then I have other clients that have vegan products and gluten free. I don't have a ton of vegan clients, but again, you find those brands and you reach out to them. As long as they have something that aligns to you, it would make sense too.
I only asked that because they were so strict with the other stuff, so I just wanted to know that. And
yes, because they have an Impossible Whopper, so they do.
Do you have any vegan products that you make?
I'm a vegan myself, yes, and I feel like I do have some vegan products that I deal with as well, and also like my music and stuff like that. So I'm just trying to see the best ways to work with people like y'all, so it's good to know, because people that don't know, you might want to work with people like y'all, and you can't because of all these restrictions.
Totally
so
agree.
It's good to know ahead of time,
A good brand also is I don't work with them, but Chipotle, like they have some like vegan tofu meats and stuff like that, and then there's a local grocery store here in New York called Maywa. Do you go to Maywa? It's like it's in Chinatown. Okay, so even working with small brands to like just have start a jumping board or a starting point is great, and they're local. So try tapping into them, and like I said, anything where you get free product to start out, it's still a partnership.
Right.
And so, once you post and you tag them, and one more important thing, I'm giving you guys a lot of free game. Lynn is gonna kill me because she wants me to do an ebook. But what you want to do is you want to make sure that your captions are gonna hit what the brand needs, right? So you got to make sure that it's authentic to you, but you also have to make sure that it's hitting their like key messaging, because I can't tell you how many times I see influencers who just post and they're like at Mandarin Oriental, and it's like, bro, you just got $1,000 room for free, and all you can say is at Mandarin Oriental. Like, what about the service? What about the design? Like, you need to be cool, but make sure that the key messaging is hitting those points.
Thank you.
Yes. So I want to take a moment of station identification for Llewellyn LCT 444 Pure. It's a mic, and this is one of the sponsors today. The good people at Sound Collectors have let me know that they are sponsoring. So speaking of sponsors,
I like the Llewellyn mics, so I'll co-sign them.
You co-sign them?
They sound good. They do. They sound good. They were. By the way, when I was sitting back, I could hear myself. I thought that was quality work. So
quality.
Shout out to
Llewellyn.
Llewellyn. Shout out to Llewellyn. Shout him out.
All right, we got 6 minutes left. 6 minutes. Sue, you on?
Yeah, I actually want to ask you a quick question. Kind of like similar, but for artists, what do you look for in an artist when they're looking to have their music be distributed through you? Yes.
Yeah, I'm on the social media tip. I'm like, I want to know. Music to be distributed. First and foremost, master your work. In all ways, be master your art, master your abilities, be the best artist you can be, and then take that same energy and really do get it mixed and mastered so that it sounds up to par, and it vibes. The vibrations is as good as it can be. Then you got to match that energy with the imaging. So whatever that art cover is going to be, whatever those images that are going to be for the videos, even if it's lyric videos, try to put your best effort into that. And then the last thing I'll say is to make sure that your metadata is tight.
Oh man, we got a whole nother podcast about the metadata.
The metadata.
I got 20 songs, and I think 3 songs come up on the iHeart thing. I'm like, yo, these people are bugging right now. I'm seeing.
What do you mean by that? I'm lost.
So metadata is the information that you put into the song file that once it's out here in the world, it's sort of out here in the world. So let's just say you have a artist by the name of Big Cat and the many mics.
I can give you an exact thing that just happened the other day. So there's an artist that's using a sample of Chubb Rock's "Treat Me Right." He's using a sample. So on the metadata, it says nothing about him. It says Chubb Rock, "Treat Me Right," because that's what it recognizes.
Right. So that person potentially is. It gets played on radio. It gets played on certain places. They're gonna get the check,
right?
Not just the credit. They're gonna get the money. So your the metadata should be filled out. You should pay for ISRC codes. Okay. You should make sure that all of that stuff is linked so that when your music gets played in a public place, you actually can collect the royalties from it. As well as, and let me back it up a little bit. When you first come out that studio, make sure you took the time to come up with an agreement through a simple split sheet, so that you're not fighting later and your song's getting pulled down.
The D.W.I University School for Dummies. You need to just create that.
It's all in there.
All they want to do is go get lit, smoke, and then leave the studio, and that's
what happens. So
Swerve doing. All right, so let's do this.
So So you want me to close out? Yeah. So I just want to say to that point with everything, right, that everybody discussed here, right? Because I do the business side. Y'all have to think business when you are running your brands, right? Whatever it is, whether it's music, whether it's content related products, you have to know the business side of things. All right. So always keep that in mind. You have to know your analytics. You have to come as a package deal. Okay. Everything has to be up to par, and you have to have contracts. 100%. Okay. Yes, professional. So on that note, we're going to close out. So we just want to thank everybody that is here today. Thank you, everyone who asked questions. Should we have one more question?
Real fast, because we have to close out
Yes.
in 3. Everybody got to give their. Go ahead.
To come up, yep.
Hi guys, I'm Crybaby here with Hood Media NYC and Black Fence Media Group. I have 2 questions, one for you, Mr. DGCDO, and one for you, Miss Lynn. Okay, so we're gonna start off with you. I just have a quick question, basically just to give us a quick synopsis, overall, quick, kind of for those who don't know, now they know kind of thing, of what your D.W.I kind of platform is and what it does for artists, really quickly. Just like a TikTok brief, really quickly.
All right. Well, yeah, we're a music marketing agency and really a digital record pool.
Awesome.
And we specialize in getting artists' attention through DJs. And yeah, that's it.
Okay, great. First, that was great. I loved what you guys are talking about. I definitely want to tap into the DigiWax CEO. Like, you're the CEO, but the whole DigiWax platform, I'm an artist myself, so that's totally cool. As far as you are a publicist, correct? Yeah. So I just want to ask, for those who are unclear, what is the difference between a publicist and a public relations manager?
Great question. A publicist, I am a publicist, and I do public relations.
Okay.
And the abbreviation for a publicist, I don't know why social media, I need a PR. It's like, do you know what? Well, I'm like, oh, I'm a publicist. No, I need a PR.
But so,
like, you know, and I have to really explain it to them. Like, that is a publicist.
Okay.
A publicist does public relations.
Okay.
And again, we promote people, places, and things all across media platforms. So a publicist, we do public relations. So a publicist, we do PR.
Awesome.
So it's
Okay,
not
so-
2 separate things.
No, it's all one thing.
Okay, well, thank you for
She helped-
clearing
Talking
that up.
about you.
Yeah, she helps you skip the line.
Right.
To
Right.
get
Yes.
attention.
Awesome.
She does the work that you might not and can't do most of the times. All right, so let's do this. I appreciate everybody for coming up. You know, for me getting this opportunity and me putting it together. I love everybody that's in the room because I see all the faces. I know what it is. And we are gonna close out here. All my information is on damatrixstudios.com, and any information that y'all need, y'all can get at me directly. Y'all can watch the video back if you're watching online. Damatrixstudios.com. Any of these people that are here or that's in this room is connected to me for life. So anything that you need from the publicist, the Digi, he has a show on Fridays. She's new to the fold, but we're gonna get into her social media business because I need to know why I'm only getting $1.50. And Sue and me and Sue are doing a bunch of things together. I produce a podcast, and she also does kids programs that she has me involved with, teaching the podcast with kids in school. So yeah, we out of here. Thank you again, Sound Collective. It was a great look.
Thank you, Sound Collective.
Thank y'all.
Thank y'all. Sound
Yes.
Collective.